Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today, got first impressions for you. The first impressions of the contents of this box, a TWSBI Eco. Join me now down on the table. We'll take a look at the pen, walk through the body, do some size comparisons, fill it with ink, do a writing sample, and then I'll give you my thoughts on this pen. Welcome down to the table. Here we've got today's pen, the TWSBI Eco. I've already taken it out of the box. There's nothing really of much excitement nowadays, is there, when you see things being taken out of the box? So I thought, let's take it out. Really nice. This is fully transparent. You might see some bits of water. I have already cleaned this out. I like to give my pens a good clean out before I first ink them up. Let's take a walk through the body. We'll start at the top. Always a good place to start. So here we've got the TWSBI logo, and then we've got this brilliantly shaped cap here. It means it doesn't roll. He says, putting it down and it rolled, but there we go. Nice. We come down from there and we come into the rest of the cap. It's all one width all the way down. Coming out from the cap, we've got the clip. The clip feels very stiff. I can hardly move that. Looking at the clip, it's quite nice looking, you know, it's plain, it's simple. We've got this cutout though, which fetches a little bit of visual impact to it. The cap, carrying on here, this is similar to the top. Obviously the top is defining this. This is like a hexagon pattern. So we've got all these facets running down. Then at the bottom we've got this ring. Lined up with the clip is the middle of the word TWSBI. Then on the back we've got Eco there. From that ring, we then have a noticeable drop down to the body. The body, to me, I always like to describe an Eco, it's a tube. It just feels like a tube. Same width, going all the way down till we get to here where we've got a black O-ring. Then back to a little bit of a hexagon on the mechanism for working the piston. Let's twist that so you can see this going down. It's one of the things I like with an Eco. Just seeing that going down and then coming back up. Downside of using a piston mechanism, we're losing about a third of the body for that mechanism. But that's fine. I mean, it holds a lot of ink as it is. Let's take the cap off. So it takes half, about one turn. It comes off really easily. We've got a transparent section here. So there we see. And then that reveals the nib. Let's pop that down there. The nib, fairly standard TWSBI nib. So we've got a steel nib here. We've got a decorative border, a breather hole. We've got the TWSBI logo and the word TWSBI. This nib is a medium. Before I put the cap back on this, I want to fetch this in. You can see here, with this being fully transparent, we can actually see what's inside it. And here we've got a cap liner. So as I put the pen in and then twist it, the nib is going into that cap liner, but it looks like it doesn't completely seal. It might do. It could just be the way I'm seeing this. Let me try holding this up to the camera. Doesn't look to me like it completely seals. That's something, it doesn't really bother me because I never have any issues with these drying out. Let's swap over and do some size comparisons. I've brought in my two standard size comparisons. We've got the Pilot Metropolitan and the Lamy Safari. The Eco looks just between the two in terms of length. There's not a lot of difference in them. Width-wise, I would say the Eco very similar to the width, to be honest, of both of them at their widest part. Let's take off the caps and see what the nibs look like. With the cap off, the Eco now slightly longer than both of them. All the nibs though, they look fairly small, don't they? In the hand, it's a really nice fit. I find this very comfortable to use unposted. Can you post it? Yes, you can. And it posts down here onto this gasket, onto this O-ring. My issue with it, I always worry I might twist this mechanism as I'm pulling it off. So I never really bother to post it, but unposted, it's more than long enough. The section, It does feel a little bit on the narrow side, but it's not uncomfortable. It's quite nice to use even for longer sessions. Let's move this all out of the way and we'll fill the pen with ink. Today's ink, I thought, well, the pen's transparent, I'm not limited, so I thought let's go for something different. So I'm going for Diamine Jacaranda, and this is a standard ink. I'm going to use the ink miser, makes it easier to fill. So let's pop some ink into there. Gently put that to one side. I've already pushed the piston down. I'm going to try and angle this so hopefully you can see as I'm filling the ink. I'm trying to hold everything without it getting spilt all over the place. Let me just move this over slightly and let's start twisting this. And here we go. So hopefully the camera's catching this. You can see that ink pouring in there. So that's 3/4 fill. Let's see if we can get a bit more than that. So emptying it out again. And then let's go. Can we get a little bit of an improvement? Not really, but we've got a really nice fill there. I'll just clean this all off and then we'll fetch in the notepad of testing. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the notepad of testing. This is a Rhodiopad A5, just plain white. Just turn it on its side, fetch in the pen. So we've got here a TWSBI Eco with a medium nib. Price wise, you're looking roughly 55 Aussie dollars. The ink, as we've already seen, is by Diamine, and it's a Jacaranda. Nice purple ink, isn't it? Drying times, so there's immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Drying off quite nicely now, 1 minute. After a minute, I'm getting a tiniest bit of a smudge up here, but the rest of it is dry. Let's move the page up ever so slightly. Is there any line variation? So here's no pressure. Can add a little bit of pressure. I don't add much pressure. Nib feels stiff. I do find that with virtually all the TWSBI Ecos I've got, the nibs do feel fairly stiff. And then we've got no pressure and with, none, with, none, and with. Not really much coming through there. The cross lines, very similar in width as well. I'm going to move the mic down to the page so you can hear the pen write. My hand's sticking there to the paper a little bit. It's not overly warm here today, but still there's a fair bit of humidity. I like the way that writes. It's not overly loud. Seeing a nice reasonable line. My preference is normally for broads and 1.1 stubs, but this, yeah, I quite like it. And final test, the scribble test. That keeps going really well. So what are my first impressions of this pen? I've quite enjoyed this pen. I've got a number of other Ecos, but I've never had a medium or a broad, so I went for a medium with this one. I'm going to look at getting a broad later in the year. It's a nice writer. It's nice and comfortable. It gives me the consistency that I normally see from TWSBI. How it will go on in the long term, if it's like my other ones, the nib will start to soften up a little bit and it'll become a little bit more expressive when I'm writing. I quite like the ink colour. It's a nice purple. Not sure it's something I'd use a lot of, but certainly, yeah, in here it actually works quite well. So all in all, really pleased with this. I'm quite enjoying it just from this little test, and I'm looking forward to using this more. So these are my initial thoughts on the TWSBI Eco with a medium nib and Diamine Jacaranda. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. So what are your thoughts about the TWSBI Eco? Have you got one? I love them. That's my 4th Eco that I've bought. Really enjoy using them. Please drop your comments, your thoughts down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.